And action. Action. What we have here, they're kind of hard to hold. They are my brand new designs of foam stamps, and they are botanical long stem stamps. So each one of them has a long, cool, skinny stem. And they're lots of fun because you can bend the stems and stamp them in different ways. And they're a collection of 12, and they are now available. And I'm really super excited about these designs.
Elizabeth is going to use paint, and I'm going to use mica stains because if it glitters or it shimmers, I love it. And why the heck not?
And why the heck not? So
yes.
we used them on panel cards as the demonstration and the reveal. So we took advantage of the long stems on the long panel card and on the long number 10 envelope. And that's just the first thing you can do with them is making cards.
Yep, and so I did a few here and there, and the fun thing is when you stamp the envelope, if you're thoughtful about your placement of the stamps, and as long as you leave a spot to put the address per normal, then you can make the envelope just as pretty as the card.
So, but these stamps are not limited to card making. They're going to be fun for backgrounds for me in my artwork. So like imagine a bird with the stamps behind it and in front of it. There's a lot of endless possibilities, but for the reveal, we figured we'd go with straightforward card making.
Yep, and these panel cards and the number 10 envelopes, these are the Astro Bright envelopes. These will be new the day that the stamps go live anyway, so you'll have choices. You'll have white or black, smooth and sturdy, watercolor or black, smooth and sturdy, and 3 colors of envelopes. So fun colors, you can combine them with all different kinds of paint. You'll see me use mica stains. So there's a pretty endless option or group of options for working with these.
Lots to look forward to.
Indeed.
All right, let's go make a mess.
All right, here we go.
Okay, here we are with some new foam stamps from Joggles, designed by me. And Barb and I, are very super excited about these because they are very unique shapes compared to previous designs. And they are all based on botanicals. So there's 12 of them. As usual, with a new release, nobody remembers the names of anything. So we're not gonna tell you the names of them. You can go to the website and see the names of them. They can be purchased in a set, yes, or individually. Barb,
we're calling them long stem botanicals, right?
Yeah, we're calling them long stem botanicals. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And Barb has given me she no longer feels like she has to lip the prompts from off camera. She's just talking, which is good. Okay. So I designed these for stamping directly on artwork as design elements, but also for card making and embellishing envelopes and all kinds of different things. And I'm really excited about them. So here's something, this is the one that was sort of inspired by a dandelion, seed pods, poppies, seed pods, fiddlehead ferns, 2 of those, leaves. This is the center of a black-eyed Susan, another poppy, some kind of puffy plant, and I don't know the name of this, but when I was a kid growing up, these things grew in our yard. So anyway, so what I'm going to show you how to do with these, which I'm excited about, we've been playing all day, Barb and I, with the stamps, and we've been playing with making panel cards and matching envelopes. So here I made with 4 stems, 1 metallic color, which is kind of fun, and then on a wet cement panel card, and then the number 10 envelope, I put the stamps on that, leaving an area for the address. Now you're going to notice that the stems here are a little curved, and I'm going to show you how to do that, because the cool part about these foam stamps is that they bend. So you can change the shape of the flowers and the stems with a little bend. So you can kind of bend them to go together and to fit together. And so that's what I did on the envelope. I bent them to come in this way and that way, leaving an area for the address. And then I chose colors for the panel card that kind of complemented the envelope. So these are the Astro Bright number 10 envelopes. They're available in 3 colors. And what are these colors? Bright green and bright yellow. That's good enough. And bright orange. We're going to work on the orange one. But so you'll see on this one I went the long way, and on this one I had them come up the short way, leaving an area in the center for the address. And I just love how the stamps, this one was particularly fun, the way it gave the effect of almost like an old wood block stamp. However, I doubt we could recreate that if we wanted to. Isn't that always the case?
Always.
Yes. So on this one you can see that I took the poppy outline one. Where are you? This one. And I bent the stem to go like this. You could also bend it to go the other way. That's kind of a really neat part of the stamps, function of the stamps. So I am going to demonstrate. I am going to be using paint, and I'm going to use it. I use my gel plate as sort of an ink pad. And then ultimately when I'm done, I'll pull a print of all the cleanup, which makes for good collage paper ultimately. So we've got the bright orange envelope and a white panel card. These are both available from Joggles, and all the supplies are going to be listed below the video with links to make it easy for you, including the new stamp designs. So I've got 3 colors of paint that I thought would match the orange envelope on this. So I've got some acrylic paint by Dina Wakley. This one's called Rouge. This one's called Lemon. And then I wanted to put a metallic in there because I really was happy the way this one came out with 2 flat colors and a metallic. So this one is the Art Alchemy Sparks, and it is called Phoenix Feather. So it's a metallic orange. All right, so let's use something other than I used last time. So maybe these 3. Those would be kind of fun together. So, okay, so I'm going to be using my 2-inch Speedball Deluxe Rubber Brayer because my idea is to put 3 strips of paint here for 3 foam stamps. And so the 2-inch brayer is going to allow me to roll 3 separate strips of paint color. So first I'll put out the Rouge. And you're going to go a little thicker on the layer of paint for stamping than you would for gel printing, just a little bit heavier so you can make sure you get a good color application on the stamp. And then you're going to want to roll this brayer off onto a clean sheet of paper to clean it. So I'm going to do that off camera. And then I'll put the next color, the yellow. Now you could also let these colors kind of ombre blend together, and you could stamp across 2 colors and get sort of a little bit of a blend. And you'll notice that I'm staying with warm colors to go with the orange envelope. So if a little bit of the rouge blends into the yellow, it looks nice because they are both warm colors. So here I'm just going to run my brayer into that a little bit. And then lastly, we'll put out the Phoenix Feather. These paints are better dispensed with a palette knife so that you can keep the edge of the lid clean. So we'll put out a little bit of that. That might be a little much. And then roll that out. So now essentially we have 3 strips of color to put the stamps in. Okay, so we've got the orange envelope, which these colors are going to look really nice with on the white panel card. This is a watercolor paper. It's a nice, heavy, thick cardstock. And I'm going to use these for note cards. I'm either going to write on them horizontally or write on them vertically because I thought that they made really interesting shaped note cards rather than your traditional 5x7 or 4x6. But yet you can still use a standard envelope with this number 10. So let's put, these 3 are all about the same height. But I'm going to show you how you can actually make one a little taller. So I'm going to put this one down off to the side first, and I'm going to do it in the pink rouge color. So you just want to stamp it. I find stamping it a couple of times, move it around and stamp it a couple of times. And as I said, we could sort of blend a little into the yellow with that, get a little bit of a two-tone. And I'm going to put this off to the side. I'm going to put it up high and press. Look at how beautiful that is with that little bit of yellow there. And then I'm going to take the bottom of the stem. I'm just going to bend this up and just get the bottom of the stem and line it up here. Well, close. And you can line up the stem and print and make it a little bit longer. This is probably a tricky one to line up more so than some of the ones that are just straight, but you get the idea. Now, you want to make sure you don't leave acrylic paint on the surface of your foam stamps. So you want to set this down in a, typically I would have a wet paper towel here. Something I should have had set up ahead of time, Barb. I did see it, but I didn't know if that's going to make a big fat mess. Blasting it with the Mr. bottle. So we're working on our nonstick craft mat here, so it's no problem to put the big wet paper towel on the surface, and then I'm just going to put this face down into the wet paper towel, and that keeps it damp until I can wash it, or if I want to stamp it again. Okay, so now that I got wet on my panel card, maybe that'll do something interesting.
Here, have some paper towel.
Oh, look at Barb. She's at the ready with the paper towel. There we go. Okay. All right then. Now, the next one, we're going to go a little shorter, and then one I want to bend. So this one, I think I'm going to go with this one and bend it. And I'm going to do this in the yellow. So I'm going to, again, tap that in. Now this is heavy body paint, and that's why it's staying wet on the plate a little bit longer. If you're using fluid acrylics like I often do, you're going to have to move a little faster. So the heavy body paint, it just stays wet on the plate a little bit longer. Here's our yellow leaf, and I'm going to bend that a little bit, and I'm going to overlap it down here with that mess that I made on the other one. Maybe that'll help distract from it, or maybe draw more attention to it. So you just bend the stem and stamp. Oh, I like that. Look at that, Barb. I covered up my mistake.
That was really a good idea.
That was on the fly.
I know, right?
Right? I just wung it. Now again, face down. And the last one is the Black-Eyed Susan. I know what this one is because it's my favorite flower.
Okay, well.
Even without the petals, I still love it.
Yes, and my favorite is the leaf that you just used. I really like that a lot.
Oh, and Barb is going to show you something that she does with the leaf that's really cool. I'm not going to give it away.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea. We'll discuss that when
yes,
you're done.
We'll discuss that off camera. Okay, she has been doing something very cool with that particular stamp that I really like. Okay, so Black-Eyed Susan going into the Phoenix Feather, the metallic. This is how you end up with the print that actually looks more like a block print, is you don't get full coverage on the big solid area. If you want to get less coverage on that, then it looks a little more hand carved or whatever. Okay, so dabbing that in there a few times, and then I'm going to run this one off the bottom short. I might have to put another one in there. Or bend it a little this way, and I'm going to run it off the bottom. That's the benefit of these long stems. You can either add to them and make them very tall, or let them run right off the bottom of the page and make them shorter. Ooh, look at that, Barb.
So pretty.
It's got that metallic. So I feel like we might need something in the middle there. We could, what about a fiddly fern? Oh, what about this?
Yeah, that one's got the curve built in.
That one's got the curve built in. Look at that, ready curve. I don't know. The spirally one is cool, but that's a little right up the center. We could do, like that. Angled like this. I like it like that.
Remember,
okay.
You turn it over, it's going to angle the other way.
Oh my God, the voice of reason over there. She just ruined my whole composition.
My work here is done.
Who can think backwards? All right, let's see.
What about if you angle it the other way?
Well, I could. Then it's going to
it's
get a
so
crick
thin.
in its neck. Only because it's already angled, but let's see. Yeah, we could do that.
This is on the fly. This is how you make
This is how you make stuff happen. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to really kind of get in the two.
So pretty.
Ooh, look at that. All right. This is the benefit of this heavy paint. We got more time. Okay, so now I'm going to bend this, put this down, and bend it like that. And go right off the bottom. Ooh, look at that. Oh my goodness, look at that. That came out really nice. I love it.
Awesome. That is really nice.
And I'm going to sign them. So when I send them, people know that they were made by hand. And you should do the same. Just sign them on the front so everybody knows you made it by hand. And then on the back, I'm just going to write a note because I'm going to use these as cards. So for the matching envelope, on this one, we've got, like I said, I did them two different ways. I either did them vertical on both sides, or I had fun with these long stems coming in lengthwise and bending the stems. So let's try that. So now let's see, the same colors probably. I don't think the yellow is going to show up, but that's okay. So I'm going to take this and just wipe it a little bit with dry paper towel. Because we're still in warm colors, a little bit of orange on that is not really going to matter when I put it in the pink because they're all analogous colors, which means they're next to each other on the color wheel, so they're sort of cousins. But if I had orange on this and then I wanted to use blue, I would end up with muck because they're opposite colors. So you don't want to mix a cool color in with a warm color without fully cleaning the surface of your stamp. Okay, so let's do the pink. So we're going to come in here to the rouge, which might be drying a little. So we'll put a little bit more out because we want to make sure we get a good solid coverage on this. And then you just want to keep in mind leaving a space for the address. So I came in from the ends and let's see, we'll do this one on the top and we'll bend it to go right off the end like that. I do love bending these stems. Whose idea was that? I think it was yours. All right, so here's the orange. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to put that one like this. And this happens when you move or wiggle the stamp, but I don't mind it at all. I love the fact that that got thick like that, but it's because it shifted while I was pressing. But so you're going to get sometimes those variations that are kind of cool. So let's see. I probably should put out another color. How about this darker pink? I can put it right on top of this one. Oh my God, Barb's going to kill me.
Not this week.
Too much paint, too much paint. Shoot.
As long as you clean it up, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm in charge of cleaning it up. All right, so I'm going to tap it into my wet paper towel a little bit more, clean it off. It's pretty simple while you're working if you just keep those wet towels. I mean, I think we did that all day yesterday. We did not rinse them in between. And this is a lot of paint, so I'm going to press that in there lightly because I don't want to get too heavy of a layer of paint on there. Otherwise, you lose a little bit of the detail. Okay, so let's put that one this way. And I'm going to let that curve go right off the edge here. Ooh, look at that. That's fun.
Very nice.
And back in the wet. And so there we have the horizontal envelope. I think we could do one more. Too bad the yellow won't show up. Let's try this color. No. What about this color? Do you think that'll show up? No.
Probably not.
Now let's do a blend of these two. What about this?
That works.
And let's see. Another, oh, let's do this one on there. So maybe I can get in here with the yellow and kind of get an orangey. That's kind of nice, the two-tone. So we'll do that one and we'll stamp it like this. And I'm going to bring the stem back around like that. That's fun. Ooh, look at that. All right. So here's the lengthwise pattern of these lovely long stem botanicals and the Astro Bright orange envelope and the accompanying panel card. Look at how cool that is. That's a lot of fun. So I hope you'll enjoy these stamps. And up next is Barb with her own different take on how to use them. So stand by.
Since Elizabeth showed you working with these long stem botanicals and paint, I decided to bring in some of the distressed mica stains. Foam stamps are very, very versatile and you can do a lot of different things with them. And I played with this yesterday, and here is the one that I'm working on. So I'm going to work on a black, smooth, and sturdy panel card because I've got mica stains and it looks so great on it. So this is what I'm going to duplicate. These are the 3 stamps that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to put some of the mica stains out, and they're not all going to be where you can see them on camera, but as best as possible, I will do that. So here is a black, smooth, and sturdy panel card. I'm going to come back and I'll show you. I'm going to stamp vertically on this envelope, but we've got to get there first. So I think what I'm going to do is let's shake a couple of things at once, or 4 things at once. Now you know with the mica stains, if you've used them, that you lay them down and that keeps the mica kind of along the long edge, and then when you shake, it's a much quicker process to get that mica distributed. All right, so let's see. I'm going to put some here. Now the thing I have discovered about these is that after you spray, if you flood that orifice with water and then wipe it up, the mister tops, the little orifice in there, is much less likely to get clogged. So there is the pink. Let's go ahead with the shiny bauble, and I'll do that here. Hopefully you can see that. So just like with the paint, you need to cover the entire surface of this with the mica stain. So I'm gonna, now this is different because this is a fluid medium and Elizabeth was working with heavy body paint. So you're gonna get different results, but I can see that I've pretty much got color on that whole stamp. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna curve this one a little bit just as it gets kind of toward the top of the stem. Now obviously the colors are gonna look different right now because mica stains will take on their more normal look once they're dry. So I'm going to come in with the leafy, and this is what Elizabeth alluded to a moment ago. I was playing around, and I actually did this by mistake, but I really like the way that it looks. So I'm going to see if I can get the bottom of those stems to line up in such a way that I have what looks like one long vine coming up with multiple leaves off of it.
The best things happen by mistake.
That's right. All right, so that looks pretty good, except for right there. And I'm going to start by doing this short one. So I've got a little bit of mixing going on here. I'm actually going to clean this off because I've got too much on there. And then I'm going to come back and see if I can line this up and go ahead and stamp that again. And hopefully I'll get a little bit better. Oh yes, much better impression. And once again, it looks like this is coming right off the same on the bottom. And then I'm going to grab this one. I'll need that green again in a second, but I'm going to use the shiny bauble for this. Let's come down here. So I'm going to grab the leafy thing again. And this time I'm going to let the color wander into the blue so that I change the color on that leaf. And then I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, I want that there. Go ahead and stamp. Oh, how pretty is that? So,
that's awesome.
So this is, there's nothing better, as far as I'm concerned, than when you have something shiny on black, and this is a really good example of that. But again, this is when the colors, when they're dry. All right, so now let me just wipe this up, and I'll bring in the envelope, and I'm going to just play with these same designs. And I think I'm going to play with just the leaf, and I'm going to mix the colors. So vertically, obviously you just have to mentally leave that spot for the address. And I like the 3 that are on here. I don't feel the need for any more, so I'm willing to call this done. Foam stamps and mica stains, they're a really great combination. And when Elizabeth proposed these botanicals to me, I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then taking them from theory into practice has proved what a great idea these are. With the long stems, you have so much functionality when it comes to flexing them and changing the shape. So I think that this is a marvelous idea, and we hope that you enjoy it as much as we have playing with it.
So if, what I want to say is that Barb has promised me that all the cards that she made while we were here, she's going to mail to me with kind sentiments, right? I don't think you've ever sent me a card.
I did once.
Once.
Last December, I think it was.
Yes, last December. This is true. Okay, so you have a pile of cards now. You made 450 cards, and I'm going to expect to start seeing them in my mailbox as soon as you get home.
Don't hold your breath. But with that said, if you need a quick card, this is a really easy way to do it. If you have somebody who nags the Jesus out of you to send them a card, again, this is an easy way to do it.
An easy way.
It is.
Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye.